Hello Year 2 and welcome to your first lesson about apostrophes for possession. You're going to need something to write with and something to write on, so please pause the video now and collect these things. Okay, let's get started. So let's have a little look, just to warm our brains up, at some of the punctuation that we've already learnt and just think about what it's called and how we would use it. So let's look at the first one. Okay, here we've got, what's this one called? A full stop. Well done. And we'd use a full stop at the end of most of our sentences. It shows us where the sentence ends and it lets somebody who's reading it take a little breath, doesn't it? Okay, what about this one here? It's a question mark. Well done, guys. So a question mark is used at the end of a question. We talked about these the other day and we know that we need to have a question word at the start of a question. Fantastic. Okay, what about this one? We've got a comma. Brilliant. Now a comma we know we would use in a list. We also know that we would use it between two adjectives when we're writing an expanded noun phrase. And as you move through school, you'll start to use commas a little bit more in your writing. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. It's an exclamation mark. Fantastic job. So we might use this one when we've got somebody talking, perhaps in a story, to show how they're feeling, if they're feeling really excited or if they're perhaps feeling cross. We would also use it at the end of an exclamatory sentence, which we've talked about a little bit before at school. Okay, so here's where it gets a bit trickier. What do you think this one is? It does look quite a lot like our comma, doesn't it? Because it's kind of like a little liney thing. It does look a bit like a comma, but this one is an apostrophe, okay? And an apostrophe can be used in a few different ways, but today we are going to be talking about apostrophes for possession. So I'd like you to pause the video. You might want to go and have a chat with somebody or just have a little think. What do you think the word possession means? Super. So possession means that something, an item, an object, or something like a person or an animal belongs to someone. It belongs to someone, they possess it, they own it, it's theirs, it belongs to someone. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can use these in our writing. Okay, so we've got a picture here of the lovely Mrs. Johnson, and you can see that she is holding her favourite stripy mug. Okay, so who does the mug belong to? Mrs. Johnson. So when I write the sentence, Mrs. Johnson's stripy mug, I write Mrs. Johnson's name, Mrs. Johnson. Then I have an apostrophe, which you can see goes up high. It sort of sits just above those round letters that sit in between our two middle handwriting lines. Then I have the letter S, okay? The mug belongs to Mrs. Johnson. It's Mrs. Johnson's stripy mug. Let's say that sentence together. Mrs. Johnson's stripy mug. Super. So you can see I've used an apostrophe to show that it belongs to Mrs. Johnson. Let's look at another one. Okay, we've got a picture here of Miss Denton, and you can see that she's holding some tall flowers, okay? So the flowers belong to Miss Denton. So we've got Miss Denton, her name, an apostrophe and the letter S. Miss Denton's tall flowers. Let's say it together. Miss Denton's tall flowers. The flowers belong to Miss Denton, so I've used an apostrophe and the letter S to show that. Okay, it's going to be your turn now. So you can see here a picture of Mrs. Kine. There you go, you should be able to see it properly now. A picture of Mrs. Kine. And the thing that she's holding is a book. Okay, so the book belongs to Mrs. Kine. So the sentence that we're going to try and write, or the phrase, is Mrs. Kine's book. You might add an adjective in, Mrs. Kine's big book, Mrs. Kine's funny book, whatever you like. But I'd like you to have a go at writing Mrs. Kine's book. Okay, and you're going to need to think really carefully, where are you going to put that apostrophe to show that the book belongs to Mrs. Kine? So pause the video now and have a try. Okay, great. Let's have a look at the sentence that I've gone for then. So I described her book as interesting, and I wrote Mrs. Kine, her name, then an apostrophe, and then the letter S to show that the interesting book belongs to Mrs. Kine. So have a look at yours. As long as you've got this bit, Mrs. Kine's, the same as mine, it doesn't matter if your adjective is different. You might have come up with an even more fabulous adjective. I'm sure lots of you have. Okay, but you need to have your apostrophe after Mrs. Kine and then the letter S to show that the book belongs to Mrs. Kine. Great, let's have a go at another one then. So here we've got a picture of Miss Denton, and no surprise to you guys, the cakes that she's chosen are lemon cakes. We know how much Miss Denton loves a lemon cake. So the person is Miss Denton, the thing is lemon cakes, okay, and the lemon cakes belong to Miss Denton. So let's have a go at writing Miss Denton's lemon cakes. Again, you might choose to add in an adjective, that's totally up to you. Pause the video now and have a go. Remember that your apostrophe is going to show me that it belongs to Miss Denton. Super, let's have a look then. So I've written Miss Denton's tasty lemon cakes. I've used the name Miss Denton, an apostrophe at the end of that, and then the letter S to show that the tasty lemon cakes belong to Miss Denton. Fantastic, guys. Let's keep going. Okay, so here we have a picture of Mrs. Biggs. Now, I want to just let you know, people find it really, really tricky when somebody's name ends in a S sound, Mrs. Biggs. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. But Mrs. Biggs has got on her shoulder her lovely dog. Okay, so let's have a look here. How can you write the sentence to show me that the dog belongs to Mrs. Biggs? Mrs. Biggs' dog. Have a go. Pause the video now and try. Super. Okay, so let's have a look at my sentence. Okay, so I've written Mrs. Biggs, that's her name, then an apostrophe, and then the letter S. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about words with the letter S in a moment. It's something that some people find really tricky, okay? Mrs. Biggs, I've called it a cute black dog, okay? Mrs. Biggs' cute black dog. And the apostrophe and the letter S show me that the cute black dog belongs to Mrs. Biggs. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Let's keep going. Okay, you've got a picture of me here, and again, I've got my dogs, and I've got two dogs. Okay, so I'd like you to try and write Miss Pritchard's dogs. There's more than one, so we need to have a plural for dogs. Have a try. Okay, let's have a look then. So I've written my name, Miss Pritchard. Then I've written an apostrophe and the letter S. I've described them as lovely because I think they're quite lovely. And I've written the word dogs. Now, I don't need an apostrophe in the word dogs because it's just showing me that it's plural, that there's more than one. There's two dogs in the picture, there's more than one. So I've added S on the end of that. You learnt in year 1 that sometimes you add S, sometimes you add ES to show me that there's more than one. But the thing that's really, really important is that I've got my apostrophe before the S after my name to show that the two dogs belong to me. Fantastic. And here we have Mrs. Stevens. Get ready. She's very excited to see your sentences about her. So Mrs. Stevens has got her lovely packet, her delicious packet of chocolate buttons. Okay, have a go at writing Mrs. Stevens chocolate buttons. You might want to pause the video. Okay, so here we have my sentence. Again, I have written Mrs. Stevens because that's her name. Then I've got an apostrophe, and then I've got the letter S to show that the sweet creamy chocolate buttons belong to Mrs. Stevens. Okay, the sweet creamy chocolate buttons are hers, they belong to her. So I've written an apostrophe and the letter S to show that she owns them, that they're hers. Okay, now sometimes you will see in a book that there'll be a word that ends in the letter S and an apostrophe after it with no S after that, okay? This is a little bit complicated and we don't need to worry about it too much at the moment, but just to explain that to you, the reason that you will sometimes see that is because the noun, the name, is a plural. So in my sentence here, this is my parents' little house, okay? If there are two or more, if it's a plural for the noun, so I've got two parents, okay, I'm talking about my dad and about my mum, there's two of them, you don't need to have another S after it, you just put the apostrophe after the first S. But we don't need to worry about that too much at the moment. You will sometimes see people do it after just an S in a name. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not also quite right. The way that we need to do it is with the apostrophe, just like we've done for Mrs. Stevens' name. We had an apostrophe after the S and then we had another S after it. But you will sometimes see words like this when you are reading. Okay, so your phonics challenge today is to look at the sentences that I'm about to show you. I'd like you to copy them onto your paper and add the apostrophe in the correct place. Okay, so I've missed the apostrophe out. I would like you to add it in. Once I show you the screen, you'll need to pause it so that you can copy them down. Remember to send them in to us. We would love to see them. Thank you so much for your hard work, Year 2, and we will see you very soon. Okay, so here are your sentences. I'm just going to close my video so that you can see them. Here are your sentences. You will need to pause the video so that you can copy them out, and remember to add in your apostrophe in the right place to show me that something is belonging to someone. Okay, have a great day and I will see you very soon.